Hey guys, so patch 7.2 has a lot of amazing positive features that I really want to highlight in today's video. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about the the creepy Stalker plugin, the one that ties account IDs together to enable a whole host of functionalities to really enable harassment, stalking, and a lot of other very bad behavior. I will have edited somewhere on the video screen what used to be the GitHub repository's description of functions in it. That was from months ago. Who knows at this point how many more functionalities there are to it. Unfortunately, given the urgency and nature of this is being prioritized by me over a excitement hype video, which I do think is quite justified. I think there's a lot to be positive, but there's been movements on this, and I do want to say the things that I have been told have been corroborated by multiple different users, and I really do wish that it wasn't true, and I find it upsetting because I remember during some of the live letters that the developers were stating outright that they were going to have a more permanent fix in patch 7.2, which unfortunately has arrived, and I'll go over the concerns very shortly, but obviously I wish that this was false. Some commenters are going to say, hey, you shouldn't make a video about this, and you're going to give them a lot of information. I will not give them any tools or advice on how to do the encryption or decryption or anything of the sort, and this kind of bad faith actor that is trying to make this kind of plugin absolutely would already know this because they're motivated to do it. This is kind of their thing, and I think that it is very naive to believe that me making a video would somehow inform them when they absolutely would already know. And there's been, from yesterday, many hours ago, almost 24 hours ago, posts from actors, non-negative actors, about this. I think that it would be very ignorant. This is instead just trying to notify the greater community about kind of what's going on and what patch 7.2 is meant to fix, but unfortunately is falling a little bit short of what we could have hoped for. I hope that that kind of clarifies everything. That's the intention of this video, is just to notify people, let people know what's up. As a very quick recap of the issue, the account ID, the ID for your particular account, was found out many months ago to be exposed to the client side, so it's something that you would be able to retrieve. Unfortunately, there was a group that decided to take this account ID and relate it to a lot of other information. I will once again present what was many months ago advertised as the description on GitHub. Unfortunately, this plugin spiked in popularity, and that this became kind of a much bigger issue. As a result of the notoriety that this plugin was gaining, Yoshi P, during one of the live letters, did take a quite clear stance on it, stating that patch 7.2 would have a more permanent solution for this kind of thing, and he did clarify that information like addresses or like payment information wouldn't be exposed from this. There's a few different things, like I've also seen this on Discord. I'll just put the person's message here, but I'm going to really focus on the user NotNite on Bluesky and what they had to say, because I believe that it provides the most apt summary of things. Although of course you're definitely welcome to pause the video and read the Discord message just for more context for yourself. So the user NotNite said, "Alright, after some investigation, account IDs are now obfuscated in some way we're unsure of, but this obfuscation still allows you to correlate players client side. We think the network layer has some form of obfuscation on it, but we're not quite sure how it works yet." The same user then posted an update saying, "After a lot of testing in a group chat full of my smartest FFXIV friends, we have figured out the obfuscation is vulnerable and that the account IDs are actually reversible. SE needs to stop sending the account ID entirely to clients and just be set a hidden flag or something." Because I know that a lot of people will be asking this, what encryption does is it basically is a message that you are able to send from one person to another, and you want both people to know that end message. However, between those two, it's meant to not be readable. So you're just kind of trying to scramble it up, and that's kind of what they mean by obfuscation here. Both the one person on the sending end and then the one receiving it have methods to unscramble that. And so what this NotNite person is saying is that they, in the middle of that chain, have figured out a way to unscramble it and to figure out what the client is supposed to see. Or in other words, account IDs, when you are able to decrypt them, you are able to get the full account ID without any issue. So basically we revert any issue or any barrier that was imposed with the 7.2 changes. I'm gonna wrap this up with a bow on NotNite's Twitter posts on their thread. They say, what does this mean? Account IDs can be reverted back into their non-obfuscated form and then used like normal. This functionality means nothing to plugins like Playerscope, except that they need to work slightly harder and discover the algorithm on their own. So far, we've been able to de-obfuscate several account IDs of friends with consent at a 100% success rate. For safety reasons, I'm not speaking of the requirements, but it is very easy to do. I won't be sharing more info at the moment. I want to be very careful with this. Since this is a vanilla client network flaw, SE needs to fix this, and they need to fix it properly. They should not obfuscate this information. They should completely stop sending it to the client. It's a security risk. Also, stop making in-house obfusc/cryptography. You're a game company. So what that translates to is that basically the creepy plugin can still function, although there is absolutely a lot that they could have already done, like shuffle the data into database already of all the different correlations in that. And I already said things in like past videos, like it would be trivial to already have like mapped out what everyone does, and then like Lodestone ID. Lodestone ID is fully public. That's how you access Lodestone pages. And so just changing account ID, well, does that change anything? Well, you already had the Lodestone IDs, and then you just make them all match again. So I mean, has there been a Lodestone ID reset? Because I mean, no one's really told me anything about that, at least. And so in encrypting, even if it was foolproof, they said that they could still correlate it. That's what the NotNite person said. So correlation often is enough rather than just full-out decryption, because if you can correlate two account IDs together without decrypting it, what's the point of decrypting? It just feels like another thing on top, if I'm being very brutally honest. Kind of like this one Discord post was talking about, but like, did we do anything with Lodestone IDs? At least to the best of my current working knowledge, no, but I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. But Lodestone IDs are totally separate from account IDs. Lodestone IDs being traceable by creepy freaks has been an issue for a long time. PSA, public service announcement, make of it what you will. Creepy stalkers are going to be creepy stalking. Great. But if you are a big-butted, hot dom, muscular wolf daddy and want to just gulp me up, by all means. But you don't need the plugin for that. You just need to hit me up in DMs and I'll be like, oh, yes, that's a big butt. Make me ooh-woo till I oh-whoa-whoa-whoa.